Hi guys, so it seems even former Tories are upset with what Liz Truss, the candidate to replace Boris Johnson, had to say about Nicola Sturgeon. Now, Truss received some serious backlash in Scotland, not just from members of the SNP and independent supporters, but also many who have been sitting on the fence when it comes to Scottish self-determination. Even a former Tory member of the Scottish Parliament, Mary Scalon, criticised the Conservative candidate for Prime Minister. Have a listen to what she had to say.
Mary Scalon is a former Conservative MSP. Morning to you, Mary.
Good morning.
Good morning, which puts you in an interesting position. I don't know, you'll be one of these people who has a vote in this Tory leadership contest, I imagine.
I do, Kay. I'm waiting for the postie to come this morning.
Right.
I'm what they would call a floating voter. I was actually veering towards Rishi. I like his economic policy, but I felt in recent days he's been losing a wee bit of sparkle. So I was beginning to consider Liz Truss. And to be quite honest, she's, as far as I'm concerned, sad off. She's completely finished. And I think that what's happened this morning with Liz Truss, she's crossed a line. I think what Liz Truss said was inappropriate and it didn't belong to this debate. And I think she's probably lost one vote, which is maybe not much in the grand scale, but it certainly changed my vote.
Which is very interesting. So this is a former member of the Scottish Parliament saying, look, insulting the First Minister, saying that she's just there for attention, she just wants more attention, and the fact that if I became Prime Minister, I would ignore the First Minister, is crossing a line for Mary Scalon. Now, I don't know Mary Scalon. I know almost nothing about her. I just know that she's a Tory. She's a former member of the Scottish Parliament. But for her to say this in an interview is quite telling. It's quite interesting, because if we look back at Boris Johnson was not popular in Scotland. Boris Johnson, I joked about how he has to be smuggled in and smuggled out under the cover of darkness. He normally visits military bases where he can feel safe. He goes on walkabouts in Tory constituencies knowing that he won't be heckled or whatever. Boris Johnson, his face put on a poster on the day of the referendum would probably be enough to convince most people to support Scottish independence. Now, Nicola Sturgeon is the First Minister. She was elected First Minister. And the fact that Liz Truss said that she would ignore her is basically saying she would ignore Scotland. And I've talked about this before, how the Tories have voted consistently and are interested in removing powers from Scotland, turning back devolution, turning it down wherever they can, taking powers away. And we've seen in Parliament itself how the SNP are treated by Tory MPs, including Boris Johnson and others. The Tories treat them with nothing but contempt. And as I've said on other occasions as well, it's not just the MP you're insulting, it's the constituency you're insulting. It's the voters you're insulting. Because that MP is representing, or should be representing, not just the people who voted for them, but also the people who voted against them. That's their job, is to represent that constituency and try and do the best they can for the people who voted for and against them. When you insult that MP, when you don't answer the question, when you ignore them, you're ignoring the voters. And it's not just that Nicola Sturgeon, it's not like Nicola Sturgeon is some backbencher or a councillor or something like that. She is the First Minister of Scotland. And it was somewhat mind-blowing. I was shocked that Liz Truss came out and said, I would ignore Nicola Sturgeon. That's the way to deal with her. Ignore her. She's not a troll. She's not somebody who's, a busybody at the end of the street. She's the First Minister of Scotland. You're supposed to work with her. You're the Conservative and Unionist Party. Unionist means working together to defend the union. by ignoring Scotland and ignoring Nicola Sturgeon, you're destroying the Union. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.